Hi everyone, Nicole here. You know the drill, self-reflection on the lesson. This is covering InTASC standards 1, 2, and 3. So for this lesson, I completed How Can You Stop a Landslide with Students. Went interesting. The students definitely classroom management is something I'm definitely struggling with. And at the elementary level, I know it's just it's figuring out what is okay to say and what is not okay to say. Keeping disciplinary actions appropriate, but having it to where there's a line of respect that's drawn in the classroom. And ensuring that the students who are listening and the students who are following instructions are rewarded for those behaviors, and not necessarily rewarded in a sense, but just kind of like, I don't know, just like a thank you or an appreciation for their willingness to comply and just being respectful, just thanking them for being respectful, I guess. Like, I don't necessarily see that as a reward. I see that as being thankful for the student, for their just, easiness, just being really nice. So overall, we have to talk about each element of the lesson, what we would change, if anything. Definitely classroom management. I probably would have honestly went through the project beforehand with the students, and then I should have shown them a preview of it and then let them go through it together. I think 2 people in a group was good. I think partners was fine, but I think letting them choose their partners was the mistake. Just because, letting them choose their partners, they're going to choose the person that they chat the most with. They're going to choose the person that distracts them the most. And that's just not what we want during a science project. You want them to be focused. You want them to get along and you want them to feel comfortable, but then it turns into goofing off and just it's nothing. I believe that if I needed to reteach the concept, if I felt like students weren't given equal opportunity because they were distracted or they weren't listening, or the ones that were listening got in trouble, vice versa. I think honestly I would go through it with them individually, and I would say, we're gonna watch it together, and then you're not going to touch anything. I wouldn't even let them have the materials. I wish I had a sort of table or something that I could set up in front of the classroom, so that they could walk up and come get the materials to see that on camera, and not just have their stuff. I don't know, their things were prepared, and there's no really easy way to do it, but I don't know. I feel more of the story. Each standard was addressed. Specifically, if we want to talk about the standards, so for standard 1, it states that we want, I'm so sorry, I should have this available. So many pages. Okay, so for standard 1, learner development, the teacher understands how learners grow and develop, recognizes that patterns of learning and development vary individually within across the cognitive, linguistic, social, emotional, and physical areas, and design and implements developmentally appropriate and challenging learning experiences. Such a mouthful. Yeah, I think so. I think that they're able to they had to think outside the box. They had to protect that land. They had to protect, I said, think of that land, think of all the little animals and all the little creatures that are on there that need to be saved. You know, think of all of the homes that they're going to have to rebuild because they've been destroyed by this landslide. Like, having them kind of like have an empathetic viewing of what they're doing, like having the scientific side of it, but then also having an empathetic and thinking outside the box and thinking of like what affects the landslide, vice versa. Yeah. Standard 2, learning differences. The teacher uses understanding of individual differences and diverse cultures and communities to ensure inclusive learning environments that enable each learner to meet high standards. Yes, so yeah, I think that each individual person did something different. I think giving them their own land was able to let them show what they really individually wanted to do. Some of them copied each other, which is fine, some of them weren't able to come up with like ideas originally, or they just copied the video from what they saw in the description, which is completely fine. But I just wanted them to really just be able to like solely own that land and then be able to speak to it and be like, oh, well, this is what I did. And some of them were honest. They said, I copied what she did and it didn't work and I wish I would have done this. And like, well, now doing your own thing. Standard 3, learning environments. The teacher works with others to create environments that support individual collaborative learning and that encourage positive social interaction, active engagement in learning, and self-motivation. So with our learning environments, knowing that, working with each other and using each other as that support system to ensure that we are kind of working together, because if we're all not doing the same thing, or if we're all kind of like separately, it's not fun. Overall, I think I did great. I think I did pretty darn good for a first time teacher. Can't wait to do it again.